Nazism has been described as a political religion in a lot of ways. We start moving away from traditional. We start worshiping the state, or as in terms of the Nazis, the Aryan race and that thing.
Yep.
And what happens? Everything now starts to become more materialistic, more focused on this is our territory, this is our race, we have to defend. Tribalism will come up. Whereas if you have traditional Christianity, you have Paul saying there's neither Jew nor Greek, free nor slave, male nor female, you're all one in Christ. Like, yeah, that's going to be more actually inclusive or drawing more people in. But when we move away from that, you take the foundation away, chaos results. And, G.K. Chesterton called it Christian ethics gone mad, because you take some of the ethics you like, you detach it from its foundation, and it goes off into some wild extremes that just result in horror.
I've heard someone describe communism and socialism as that. So
Exactly.
That the ideas and the morality that's laid out in Christianity. I think it was I forget the guy's name. He's a British guy that does. He's a historian. I think he's a young guy too. Either way, he was describing that if you take the morality that's laid out in Christianity, but take Christ away and take God away, you end up with something like communism.
Was it Tom Holland?
Yes, I think it was Tom Holland.
He's not a young guy, but
is he not? Maybe.
Well, you're thinking of the Spider-Man actor.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yes.
has the
Okay.
same
Yes.
name,
That
and
is. Yeah.
I feel so bad for him. I interviewed him on my channel one time. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He wrote a great book called Dominion, where his book is basically arguing Christianity has saturated the world.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't know the name of the book, but I think I might have heard Ben Shapiro talking about it or something. But it makes sense to me that because when you hear people on the left, they talk about morality and stuff, but without any kind of. If you're an atheist, I find Nietzsche's argument that if there is no God, then man has to make his own morality. Right,
It's the Ubermesh mentality.
Yeah, that without God to tell you what's right or wrong, and if we're all only here for an instant in the grand scheme of things, in the universal time scale, if you're only a flash in the pan, and you're gonna die and your kids are gonna die and no one's gonna remember you, then it doesn't matter really. And it leads to nihilism and truly. But I don't see why being quote unquote good would matter to someone that didn't have any kind of religion. Like they'll say that they do. They think that good matters. That they say, "Oh, I don't need a God to tell me what's good." And it's like, well, why? Well, and that's what you see with the whole. The communism, it's like, well, you want to be good to people and you want to take care of people. And it's like, well, if we're all going to die and your life is actually only a spark in history of in eternal history, why does it matter?
Well, to steelman them a little bit, I mean, they're not going to say like it's just great to be evil. I mean, they would argue that being good is its own reward. Like it's good to take care of your family. It's good to have loved ones around you.
But it makes it very easy for them to do some of the most evil things in history.
True, but then you need to ask is like, why are they doing those good things? Well, they want to provide for their family. But I mean, ultimately, what the Christian would argue is that's going to go back down to power. And this is also kind of what Nietzsche was going there. Eventually, all that's left is trying to obtain power for you and your tribe or your family at that point. And that's what we see slowly come out. I mean, if you are a traditional religious person like a Christian, God has all the power.
Yep.
You can't have it. And so the basis now becomes love for him and what he did for us and that kind of stuff. So love then becomes the central Christian message. God died for us. We love him. He loves us. But if you take that away, what is left? Well, love is only useful as long as it brings me power or pleasure in some sense. Helping my family is only good if it brings me power or pleasure in some sense. So you get through the layers of what they're talking about. Yeah, they could argue it. I don't want to go out and rob banks. I want to be a good person. I want to provide for my family. But then you just go one meta level lower. Like, why? Well, what is the driving force? And it's going to be something like power, pleasure, or safety, as C.S. Lewis would have said.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.